Hello everyone, I am Rajni Giri. I have Diane, Sabina, Patrick, Kasia, Sif, Sujit and myself in Group 11. And this video is about the MN691 research method and project design. And our project name is Driving Wake-up Signal by IoT Devices Part 2. As a client detail, we have Editorial Solutions Private Limited as our client. Mohammed Haq is the person with whom we contact for updates for the project, and our project supervisor is Dr. Su. To know about our project, to understand the project, first we need to start from what is driving. And we know that driving is the most popular transport system in all over the world. Most people choose driving to go from one place to another place through the road system. And we also know that there is an increasing rate of road accidents, and from a survey there is a record that most of the people are dying from the road accident. So why are the road accidents happening? The main cause for this is drivers' tiredness and fatigue, drivers' behavior. And the research project, our project is about the research and focus in a way we can find, like we can measure the driver's tiredness and alert them for the possible outcome. If we can do this, then if the driver is like about to sleep when he's driving, then we can make the system which can detect that driver is sleeping, and then that system can alert the driver that you are sleeping. You need to wake up to be safe. Like this kind of system we need to create from our research. And our client wants us to use the IoT devices to measure fatigue and produce an alert through mobile phones or noise inside the car for drivers to remain awake for the rest or some time before continuing driving. This could save the drivers, and this can prevent the road accidents. So this is the overview of the project. I would like to hand over the next slide to my next group member. Thank you.
Now I'm going to talk about the requirements of the client and the objectives of our project. The requirement of our client is to produce a system that is helpful for drivers in order to drive safely on the roads. Now the second one is to have a system that can detect drivers' fatigue through the use of sensors which can detect the following requirement like eye movement, body movement, leg movement, heartbeat and pulses. The third one is to take actions according to the driver's data. That is, if the driver is not tired, let him drive, otherwise it will alert the drivers by making noise inside the car or through the mobile. And the last requirement of our client is to develop a system that will gather the data or input depending on the driver's behavior and output the result as according to our database algorithm. The objectives of our project is divided into two categories. That is, one, general objectives, and the second one is specific objectives. Talking about the general objectives is that in today's life there are too many number of accidents that are occurring in our daily life, and that is taking number of thousands of innocent lives without any fault. And the main objectives of our project is to reduce the number of accidents that is occurring in our daily life or daily routine by the means of developing an enhanced version of previous study about the driver fatigue detection system. And talking about the specific objectives, the specific objectives of our project is relating to developing of the system for detecting drivers fatigue, to develop a mobile application with an enhanced user-friendly interface that will serve as sensing application in order to collect data pertaining to driver actions. The third one is to collect accurate data from driver physical or emotional status before driving machines learning technique. And the fourth one is to have secure database storage at back end of system. And the last objectives of our project is to improve the dissemination of alertness to the driver through the use of different alerting system. And this is the end of my presentation. At last, thank you very much for all of my group members for the support and kind that have shown to me. Thank you so much.
So let me first discuss the client proposed design. So in client proposed design, the driver will wear a hat with a brim where he or she can clip the eye sensor IoT device, which can detect and understand the driver's fatigue in every microsecond. And this proposed device may have an auto-triggering system to control the cars for some times until the situation is favorable to drive. So before proceeding to the design approaches of our project, let me first discuss what is drowsiness. So drowsiness is the outcome when a person needs to sleep that can be inevitable. A person is suffering from drowsiness due to some factors, which are the following. First is poor sleeping condition. Second is sleeping disorders. Third is medication. Fourth is long hours of wake time. And fifth is extension of time at certain tasks. Furthermore, I have a black diagram that will show you the aspects in determining the level of drowsiness of the driver. So in here, the driver is the main center of the black diagram, where the blue boxes are the factors that affects the driver. So the driver is being affected by disturbances. It can also be affected by different types of pressures, as well as fatigue and drowsiness, and the travel conditions. So the main aspects which is used in determining the level of drowsiness of the driver can be separated in two reactions. First is psychological reactions, and second is the physical reactions. So in physical reaction, we can determine the head posture, and gripping force on the steering wheel of the driver. So through the use of sensors or cameras inside the car, we can detect every physical reaction of the driver. Now, in psychological reactions, it can either be the following. So we're using sensors to detect the brain waves, the eye blinking, heart rate, and skin electric potentials. So these aspects can be included in our project to gather data that will define if the person is suffering from drowsiness or tiredness. In addition, since the driver drives the car, we can also include the data coming from the driver's behavior inside the car, as well as how the driver operates the car. So in operating the car, we can gather some data about the changes in the steering wheel, the changes in the accelerator, and the changes on the brakes. While on the behavior of the driver, we can focus on the body position of the driver as well as the speed of the car. In addition to the aspects being discussed earlier, here are some of the behavioral measures to be included in our project in collecting some data. So in detecting the drowsiness, through the use of sensors or IoT devices, we can collect data coming from the facial expression, eye movement, and head movement of the driver. So facial expressions, eye movement, and head movement are part of the physiological reactions of the driver. For facial expressions, through the use of camera, we can detect if the driver is yawning or not, or maybe some actions that can trigger sleepiness. While for eye movement, through the use of eye sensor, we can detect eyelid movement of the eye, and also for how the person gazed, if it's fixed or not fixed in the road. While for the head movement, through the use of camera, we can record if he or she is nodding or falling asleep. So in summation, all of the
aspects in detecting the drowsiness of the driver can be useful for our project in order to come up with an accurate data that can be useful in detecting or predicting if the driver is suffering from tiredness or not.
Hello everyone, I am Sujit Chandra Ghosh. I am here to present our first design approach. Our first design approach is basically a physical sensor. We put sensors like eye detection, heart rate detection, pulse detection, and leg movement detection as well. So from that sensor, we will collect the data and send to the database in which compares to the existing data of detect the tiredness. Then it alert the driver if necessary, according to the level of fatigue detection. Here is our diagram. In here you see a smart mobile phone apps. So it will take the data from IoT device which placed on maybe the head beam or the dashboard meter, and it will also collect the data from the steering as well. And the app will send the data to the cloud for applications for the cloud to compare with the database which is put on the web service application server here. So it will calculate here the level of tiredness with the existing data from the database, and the browser web browser to view will be used to view real-time vehicle driving status. If something goes wrong or the algorithm find that the result shows that the level of tiredness is high, then it will send an alert message to the application. That's all our first approach design.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kazi Asif Ahmed. I'm doing my second last semester in MIT University, and today I'm going to give a presentation on the driver wake-up signal. And my part today is the design approach 2. So basically, the design approach 2 is based on mobile application. So how this part is going to work, now I'm going to explain. So in this modulation, the smart device like a Android phone or a iOS device is going to record the signal of a driver through the mobile phone and send the signal to the cloud in the database, and the data is going to be processed in the database, and then the database will send the signal back to the phone, and it will generate a signal for the drivers for the safety. So in this part, the block diagram explains like the mobile is going to appear on the dashboard of the car and will continuously record the movement of the driver through the camera or the sensors, and then send the data to the AWS, which is Amazon Web Server. So the Amazon Web Service server and service handle the data, send it to the cloud, and Google Firebase will receive the data and process the data and send it back to the user's phone through the AWS again. So yeah, this is pretty simple for now. We will be discussing the more advanced technologies and more details in the next part of our assignments. Thank you.
Hello guys, I am back for the conclusion of this video. We all saw the design approaches for this project, and in the conclusion we are combining our both of the approach. We are also using sensors from the mobile, and we are also developing a mobile app in that mobile. So sensors in the phone will be detecting the drowsiness of the driver, and mobile application will take that information and send that information to the cloud, and then cloud will process and send the alert to the drivers whenever the driver will need the rest and feeling sleepy, and whenever he is feeling unsafe. So this is the conclusion for our project, And this is the end of our presentation as well. And here is the references of our presentations. And if you would like to ask any question, you are welcome to ask any questions. Thank you.